It's going to cut off soon here. Okay, here we go. We're going to play a disclaimer. Ready? Here we go.
Hey, and welcome to the Rise Up Hour. Welcome to the Rise Up Hour. This is Mahana Kakish on this lovely Sunday. Hey, I just wanted to say to everybody, welcome to the show. It's been gloomy and rainy, but today we're going to lift you up with talking about sisterhood. And today I have a great guest with me, and we're going to go with Sarah W. Is that correct, Sarah?
Absolutely.
And I'm so excited to have her. So today we're going to make a couple announcements before we go right into our guest, talking about what are we going to talk about? Your sorority?
Yeah, so I started a nonprofit organization with my girlfriend Bridge over here, and it's just basically a community connection resource thing for all the women in St. Paul, Minnesota. Just get us connected. We have a list of events on there and different ways to help financially, places to live. Mental wellness.
Yeah, so she heard me talking about that earlier because there's mental illness, there's mental wellness, and I believe that people can get wellness. And while we're mentioning that, let's do a shout out to, go ahead, we lost a great country singer.
Yes, Naomi Judd.
Yes, and we don't know everything, but we do know that the kids did sit in mental illness. And let's just give the, take a moment just to thank, she was supposed to get an award today. And so something must have happened, but see, it affects everyone. And so you guys, when you're feeling something, something's out there, reach out. Example, the resources you have. I noticed that you guys address that.
Yes. Yep.
And recovery, and it's kind of amazing, and groups, and you really address the fact that it's important to take care of yourself.
I do. And I think it's really important because, as Bridge knows, being a person of recovery and recovering alcoholic, I don't identify as a recovering alcoholic. I identify as a person in recovery because I also deal with mental health.
Yes.
And I have major depressive disorder. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pointing at myself. Yes, hello. But yeah, I can be on a radio show and we can be positive. So I'm going to make these quick announcements real quickly. So those out there that need services. Hey, think about recovery. Go to MinnesotaRecovery.org. Minnesota Recovery Connections offers free recovery navigators, free recovery coaches, peer-to-peer support services, and then they offer telephone recovery support. That's TRS support. So if you are someone who just wants to get a weekly call to get checked up on, doesn't mean you need anything. It just means that you're just wanting to see how you're doing. Go ahead and do that. And I do those calls. And then also all recovery meetings, check that out. Just go on there. And then they have the one-on-one programs. And if you want to call them up, 612-584-4158. And then the other thing I want to mention too, we lost someone really important at Minnesota Recovery Connection. And we want to remember Howard Collier. Did I say that right? I'm never good at last names.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, okay. And I just want to say, I went to a service. I had to leave early because I had a doctor's appointment. But what an amazing man. Seeing that hundreds of people there, he touched so many people in recovery. He lifted lives up. And, he's looking down from heaven. And, the one thing I loved about him, his dry humor, he taught me to be myself and who I am. And I got to tell you, he's going to be well missed. And this Thursday, for those of you who missed out, from 12 to 3, Minnesota Recovery Connection is having a celebration of life. So you're all welcome to come. All are welcome to celebrate Howard. Because I know many people are devastated. I got calls, people crying. But we also talked about what he did and left, and he left a legacy of happiness. And one thing about him, I'll say, he accepted everyone and had a different relationship with everyone. And even in the workplace, I'll tell you this, I was always trying to be Mr. Professional, and he just got me to bust out laughing. And that's what I remember of him. He's like, just be yourself. It doesn't matter, and love yourself. He said some aren't gonna like it, and you know what? I've learned that. But you know, I get to be happy in my recovery, and that's joyous. And Bridge wants to say a quick moment of something.
I would just say, like, I didn't know him long, but just in the short time that I did know him, yes, always positive energy. He's just hilarious. And I mean, I could also be stressed out, and he would definitely take me right out of that. And yes, shocking and sad, but he will definitely be missed. But he was when I got to know him and got to spend time with him, it was always wonderful.
And then the one last thing I want to mention, I did do my training for Steve Rum the Hope Network, and I had 2 of them on Friday. They were great successes. And then I just want to bring up last night. I spent some time with my stepson, and hey Blake, I'm making a shout out to Greg and his friend Mike. Mikey, we call him, but it's Mike. And you know, I got to be in the hot tub, got out, and then suddenly my body felt heavy. You guys all know I have chronic pain, barely could get moving. But we had an interesting discussion because I was talking about fentanyl test strips that are available. And so they taught me something different, and I'm just going to mention it because there's the generation that's going to test, and then there's the generation that we have to educate why it's important to test. Because when you're dealing with people who drink and then decide to do stuff, they think differently than the people who just do that, you know, who know about testing and want to feel safe. Because fentanyl is a very dangerous thing out there. And so I just want to say thank you they gave me a very different perspective on how to educate better. Because I come from a different view of adults and professionals doing it, but I also got to look at how kids and other people do. And then the last thing I want you guys to listen to tonight, KISS 101 Recovery.
KISS Recovery 101.
Yeah, KISS Recovery 101. And you know who runs that? Of course, it's Bridge, my assistant. She's awesome. But they are going to have Ashley Grimes from NAMI. She's a president tonight at 8 p.m., right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can go to YouTube, Facebook, and check that out. You guys, by the way, I've also, you just go right on the YouTube and you find it. On Facebook, you can click on there. But it's pretty amazing when you listen in. It's I actually liked it a lot, and you can even chat on there. And then Bridge is going to make an announcement about SORELLA.
We'll let Sarah talk.
Yeah, we'll let Sarah talk. And now to get your pens, and next time when Bridge is going to remind me to do this, we're going to put the text questions and the call-in number. Please call in live at 651-313-5125. I know you guys have the desire to call in and ask questions today. I got a couple of people who said, oh, I'm excited about this show. 651-313-5125. And for those of you who like to do the texting world, 763-843-4262. That's 763-843-4262. And by the way, you can subscribe to our channel on YouTube, Facebook group Rise Up Hour. Just join the group and let your friends know about everything. And hey, Sarah, tell me what does SORELLA stand for?
So actually, SORELLA is Italian for sister, but also an acronym for Sisters of Recovery, Earnestly Living Life Authentically. And what we are and our vision basically is as a nonprofit organization, we were established to foster sobriety, community service, and social initiatives. The sorority was created by, like I said, Bridge and I, and we were looking for kind of an elite grounds to help carry the message. We wanted to welcome newcomers and offer an exceptional support network that will help empower women embarking on recovery through sobriety or mental health challenges. So our vision is to see all women of recovery grow through their transitions and gracefully adapt to this lifelong commitment. It's a challenge to, when you are getting into recovery, to stay sober and feel comfortable and find those connections. And that's what we want to offer. So through an extensive, compassionate, and unpretentious outreach, we can together break the harsh stigma associated with addiction and mental health, which I think is a challenge to everybody in this field.
And I really agree with that. And how do people find out information? Where do they go?
So we do have a website. It is SORELLAsorority.org. And for spelling, it is SORELLASORORITY.org.
And by the way, that is on our, if you guys go to my Facebook or go to the Rise Up Hour Facebook, I have the link. You can just click on there. So that's really exciting. And because it was new, I had to work hard on getting that picture of you guys on there. So I did a little finagling and made that work. So and I did look on it. There's a lot of information, and congratulations. I'm really impressed. So for those men out there who are listening, and for family members, or we're talking about sisterhood here. It is important in the recovery, in the recovery world, to honor all pathways. And there's men's groups, there's women groups, but sisterhood is really important, because we talk about brotherhood. Oftentimes brotherhood's like a big thing in recovery, but then we talk about sisterhood, and we don't see a big emphasis on it. But it needs that. And I'm going to say this. I learned a lot about what it can help me. So personally, when you listen, we all need to take something from recovery. So learning about different journeys and what we're doing, I just think it's so important. And I identify as a person in recovery. I don't say I'm this, I'm that, because recovery means that we're recovering, and we're taking, we're changing social stigma. And I think that's what you guys are really working on. So I just want to say thank you so much. And what really, can I just ask you, what got you to really decide to do this?
So I had a very challenging year. I have, as I mentioned, I suffer from depression as well as addiction. And the challenges that I faced, the struggles with not only my family life and losing a lot of important people in my life that are supposed to be supporters. And I had to find my own network of people, my own sisterhood, to support me, get me through this stuff. And it's amazing, because going into this, I was never a person who would have thought I can lean on a group of women to be supported and get through the hardest times of my life. I thought they would tear me down, they would judge me, and when you get into this other side of sisterhood through recovery, these women are here to build each other up. We're here to encourage each other, and it's a whole different side than I imagined. I had completely filled my brain with all these notions and stigmas of how women need to treat each other, and it's totally different. And I wanted to get it out there, get people to realize that you can lean on other women. We can be sisters. Realistically, through recovery, there's a big thing about fellowship. And I think it's often overlooked. And through that fellowship is where you're going to really just kind of exceed and find who you are. I have a girl, so I'm a house manager of a sober house at Summit Hill Sober Living.
Oh, cool.
And I actually just had a lady move in who literally she stole my heart. So she's a mother, and she did the recovery thing. She did the inpatient, and then she got out and she went home, and she's living at her mother's house, and she's raising 2 younger daughters. And she's like, I need something more. She's still sober. She actually just celebrated 5 months today.
Oh, cool.
And
congratulations out there.
And the thing that she came looking at for the house was, she said, I was empty. She's like, I've got the sobriety, I've got my kids, and I've got that love. She's got it. But she's missing something. She's missing that fellowship, that sisterhood, that connection piece. And so she was really happy to have moved into our house and found that. And that's what I want this organization to provide to everybody out in our community.
Yes, and I know what you're talking about, because when you're feeling empty, you can have recovery, but you can be empty. And so when I came into the recovery, because I used to have these notions about recovery, I was blessed, and fulfillment has been my thing. So learning to love, and yes, out there, I'm a male, and I go to therapy to learn how to be happy. I mean, that is the craziest thing out there. But it's, and I've talked about males having to do these things and do trauma and healing, but sisterhood needs that, because you have your recovery, you're doing it, but then where is that fulfillment? What do you need? And when you're not able to talk about it, and you have your kids, that's great. But what about the things that you need for your personal self? And then also there's those trust factors, because you're taught that, yes, there's this backstabbing, you're taught all these horrible things. And we're taught that even before we get into recovery, that you can't trust. you're not supposed to trust.
Yeah.
And so that's a stigma that society teaches us and the stereotype. So we are changing those things, and I'm so glad that you're doing that. And that's so glad. I'm so happy to hear that the individual came to you, and that's what you're offering. So basically, what you're doing is you're making sure they're getting proper services or what they need through these resources. And I think that's amazing. And what we're going to do is we're going to go into our first song. And what is your song that you selected for the first one? I didn't actually pay attention this time.
Actually, the Carrie Kimmel "Right Where I Belong" song is actually perfect for our conversation right now.
And here we go. Oh wow! I think I know the song.
Oh, it's perfect.
Literally.
Just I love if it's
I gotta turn
cool.
my church room today. Hey
Yes, say
everyone,
hi,
thank you for
everybody.
listening. And yes, today I can't really turn my head, so
Yes, don't
No.
stress.
I'm ready to put my neck brace on and straight this way.
Yes.
I can't wait to get my Botox. A couple days.
You guys talking about women actually supporting each other and building each other, because
So
if you can talk about a lot of times women won't even try women's meetings.
Yes.
Because outside of recovery, a lot of times women do compete with each other and they get judged on.
Competition. That's what it is.
and women can be toxic for each other sometimes.
Yes.
I mean, I'm being honest.
You can't trust all women, but like SORELLA is gives that space where we're all the same
So
mindset.
when you guys, do you guys check? Let's say someone wants to get into a facility, right? Like wants to get in recovery.
Yes.
Like a home.
Yep.
Like a recovery. I call them recovery homes now.
Yep.
Because I've changed the name instead of sober houses or something else. Because
I'm trying to break the stigma.
I'm trying to really break that because there is a different way of because outside of a group, you can say if you want to say you're an alcoholic or you're an addict. I personally think that when you're in recovery and you've done so well, I am not an addict anymore.
I love this. You should bring this up on air right after because I literally have the perfect comment on this
Yes.
in regards
Say
to
what
what
you
happened
said
to my
again.
situation and that stigma.
Yeah.
This past year. It's for me, I can look back and the ladies who come into our houses. So Summit Hill Sober Living, literally they're mansions on Summit
yes,
Avenue.
because I've
They
been
are
Mansions.
freaking
because
mansions.
I've gone there for dropping out food at some of the guy ones.
And you know what's even funnier? Literally, my daughter was not allowed to come visit me because her dad assumed that because I was in a sober living house down in St. Paul, I was slumming it with a bunch of addicts, and we were all getting high every day.
Wow.
Yep, that's because that's the
The stigma,
Yep.
complete irrational, made up, imaginary world of what they picture
Yeah.
instead of doing the research and
because
going
language is
and visiting.
important. I really believe language is important.
Yes,
And we've taught ourselves to talk down about ourselves.
yes.
Oh, if you get a chance, it can be whatever time, but make sure to point out that your house now is a mom's house.
Remind me, because
Yeah.
yes.
So if someone's
Women
looking for
can
that,
bring their children
so
there.
do you check then? I'm just asking. You will make sure that where they're going into. Why is it all red?
I don't know. Somebody messed with it.
Someone messed with that, yeah.
Yep.
I don't touch it.
I'm not touching it.
Nope, I don't.
I'm gonna isolate right away.
I don't mess with that kind of stuff.
Yep. I feel like I know how to adjust it, but we're live. I can't do it now.
I've had it right on me before. And it sounds perfect.
It's not our fault. Okay, you guys ready?
Yep.
Well, what a great song that is. Why did you pick that song?
You know, actually, it's so funny. I heard it on a show that I used to watch and I loved, and I downloaded it, and it just, every time I hear it, I fall in love with it more and more, and especially on this new path that I'm in for my life and the house that I'm in where I'm able to make a difference in people's lives who don't have families or homes right now, and they're finding these places where they can come in their home.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I love that. And then, so I'm going to mention something. So, real quickly, call out there. If you have a question, we have our phone line working today. 651-313-5125. That's 651-313-5125. Or, of course, those of you who love to text, 763-843-4262. That's 763-843-4262. And we're gonna during the while we're listening to the song, Sarah and I were talking, and we were talking about stigma, and we were talking about how people perceive things. So I was talking about, I don't look at myself as an addict at all because I'm in recovery and I've done so well because when I say that, that means I'm doing something and I'm not. And so Sarah was saying, bring that up because I want to talk about this whole thing because you know, when you come out in the community, this is one of my things. Because you know, I have someone that I know says, "Oh, I'm an alcoholic," and when they're coming, you know, talking to group, and I've explained language to them because I say when you're in the group, you know that, but when you're outside that group and you say that, they look at you like, "Oh, well, we can't really discuss things or you know certain topics," or because we're talking about a person who's going to drink right now, who's an alcoholic. They're in recovery and they're not drinking, and so I it's just my personal view. It's my opinion, but it's that we're always considering ourselves this person that is doing this right now.
Language is so important. Actually, that goes along with the lines with the self-fulfilling prophecy. I think it's interesting that so many people who are in recovery and haven't had a drink in months or years still refer to themselves and label themselves as an alcoholic. You are not an alcoholic. You do not currently drink. You are an ex-alcoholic. You are a recovering alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
You are not that thing right now. That's the label needs to be thrown out the window.
Mm-hmm.
Identify as what you're doing now, not who you were.
Yes.
Yep. And if you're going to keep calling yourself an alcoholic or I'm an addict. Oh, you are? So you're going to go out and use today? No. Well, then why are you calling yourself that?
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I love that. And so you ran into a problem with that, is what you're saying? Or
actually, no. What I was mentioning to you just a minute ago was that people have, it's so amazing. These people like put stories in their heads and they envision these things they know absolutely nothing about. They hear something and they just assume. And we all know what an assumption means and what it is to assume something. So last year I had a custody issue with my daughter and her dad, who, when I moved into a sober living house down in St. Paul, we're from the north side of the cities. So in his head, without investigating or coming down and seeing where I lived or what it's like, assumed that I was slumming it in a house down in who knows where with a bunch of addicts where we were getting high and drinking every day. And literally Summit Hill Sober Living, I was living in a mansion.
mm-hmm.
$1 million freaking mansion. Blows my mind. Nowhere near slumming it. Nowhere. Our rules and expectations of those houses are so high for accountability and everything else. Nobody's coming in drinking. Nobody's doing drugs.
Yep, and they do testing, and I know there's all these different rules.
Absolutely, yes. Yep, yeah. We're sober. We're doing this stuff together. We're getting through this. And it's these beautiful, gorgeous homes. And in fact, it's so nice because the house that I was able to start managing is one of the first houses that allows children to come and have overnights and visit my daughter.
Oh, they do it overnight. They're allowing that. So
yes.
Oh, wow, you work really hard on it. Wow, you
Yes.
really are embracing the mothers to feel, because they're away from that, and that's really hard.
It's very hard.
You allow the recovery to be able to really have an effect because oftentimes there's that separation and they want their child. So that you're really, wow, that's a huge support in recovery. And you listeners out there, do you hear that? For mothers out there who are in recovery, that need recovery or are looking for it, we're not here to take away your kids.
No.
Because that is another assumption. DHS, and we talk about child services. If you're needing recovery, there are ways to get recovery to help you and support you, and that's what's important. And and that's importance of having a recovery coach too, who will support you through that. They're not there to report you and turn you in. They're there to get you in recovery because recovery is really an important element, so you can live the life you want, be a beacon of light in the community, and get back to the community.
And I think this time is so important too, especially as a mother in recovery. You missed out on so much time with your children in active addiction.
Mm-hmm.
This is the time now that you can spend that quality time with your children. And this is the important time to connect with them. They can see, hey, mommy's doing a good thing.
Yeah.
Look at her making all these improvements and working hard. This is the time you want your kids to spend with somebody. Like this is it, not take them away. And in fact, I told Bridge this recently. I'm doing a little investigating and I'm working very hard. I want to know, I'm learning all about laws and writing bills because I want there to be a law passed to protect people who are suffering from mental health and or addiction, who seek help or treatment, to not have it held against them in court on custody battles by employers taking away their jobs. I want them protected. So if anybody out there knows any information, hit me up. I want to see this go somewhere.
Yes, well, that's so great, and I'm really. Hey, by the way, just to mention, thank you for just being on the show. I mentioned so.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm really just happy. Our listeners are liking that. One of the things I want to say is that housing and navigating and being motherhood, and then one of the things that happens oftentimes when you're separated from your kids. And I'm no expert; these are just my personal opinions and things I've learned. And the reason I can have an opinion is because when I have an opinion, I've looked up the word, and you learn by information and reading. Oftentimes the mother has the separation period and they get back together and they want to buy and give the kids things that they missed out on. That prevents that period because you're still having an interaction with your kids and they see that you're doing that. So the parenting, even with the fathers too, it doesn't matter who it is, but it prevents that whole thing that I just need to give. They're seeing there's still a relationship and you're working on it. And so the kids are a part of your healing process,
Yes.
and they're getting the healing process and saying, hey, I see my mom or my dad, they're still working on healing, and they see the recovery happening, and they're not just the emptiness. I think that's really important. And or even if there's like the important part is that sometimes there is, when social services comes in, there is that visitation period. Have him come and visit in the recovery home and see that.
Absolutely.
Why not? I mean, hey, let them see how the person's doing, because that not being held against them.
Yes. And and it's even more important. It's so funny because this morning I had my daughter over for the weekend and she had a little girlfriend stay over. And then I had another lady who has a daughter the same age. So I had 3 girls in the house running around, screaming, playing hide and seek at 10 o'clock this morning. And me and one of the ladies were sitting in the living room watching the news, and we just started kind of giggling, like, this is home. Having the kids running around and screaming, having fun, enjoying that they get to still be kids, and we still get to recover. And it makes you feel more at home having that connection.
Oh, wow, how powerful is that? With that happening, we are going to go into our next song. And what song is that?
Oh, sorry, I don't know.
Bitch, what song is it?
I wasn't ready.
Tugboater?
Oh my gosh, yes, Dancing in the Moonlight.
Oh, Dancing in the Moonlight. Doo-doo. God, you're so great speaking. So you guys created this together.
I'm not taking any credit. Sarah to the website.
So is that your picture on there, right?
Yeah.
You look so beautiful in that.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just,
We went
you're
to a
drop dead
concert.
gorgeous. Yes.
Mahana? What do I normally look like shit?
No, but you take pictures. Well, I don't know why you say you don't take pictures.
I hate my picture.
That is like my favorite picture of us.
I do too.
Thank the guests for helping people accept the progress they've made by being able to shed negative language such as addict, alcohol, etc. and focus forward. Oh,
Yeah.
Ooh, wait, what?
Read that on the air and
Yeah,
the listener text in
yeah,
because the
yeah.
listeners like when you give them attention.
yep, I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Not you.
By
And
all
if you
means.
ever see this flash white,
Yes.
let me know. Just
Okay.
point at it. Now, which song do you want to end with? So you got Otis or you got I can't look at it right
This
now.
is song 2, right?
Ooh, Creep.
Creep. You want to end with Creep?
Let's end on with Otis. We'll go in that order just because
Okay.
that's kind of my nostalgic.
I forgot to ask if there was a certain order.
Do you have people listening in your house or anything like that?
I sent it out. I don't know who's all listening.
It's nice because it's recorded,
Yes.
and they could go on the radio station app.
I was trying to
That
fix
shows
the YouTube thing the other day. I don't even know how to.
Yeah, I freaked out this morning. Thank God I got up early.
Because, MSK is
I'm
attached to
cleaning my
my.
laptop, so I'm disassociating with all the other groups that I'm involved in that I don't need to be involved in. It's just too much. And I accidentally wiped out all my saved passwords, which I never write down. So that's why I think Dad, you answered that. I was like, and now I don't.
Because something attached to my Rise Up Hour, my Rise Up Hour Gmail,
Yes.
I don't have any Facebook stuff attached to that.
Okay, yeah, and that's what I figured out. And I'm like, I need your direct thing.
Yes.
Or we're not going to be able to have this live. And then I'm glad that we figured this out
Yeah.
before tonight because Ashley, that's virtual. If I didn't have this set up for tonight, it wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
But Sarah's going to be coming on with me anyway, just in case. Oh, well, to do the not meeting.
Well,
Oh, you can be on there together? Oh, cool.
Yes.
Oh, that'll be a good interaction.
Well, because I want to ask her about that law passing on how to get something like that even started.
So I think that there are so when I get on the hopefully the governor's council,
Yeah,
because I really want to promote,
I think you'd be great.
because we're talking about the fundings and all that's coming in and how it's been. I want to get away from them pointing at a mother who's trying to sell to support her addiction
Uh-huh.
versus the real person and change how that affects parenting.
Yeah.
And during getting recovery, we need to stop having that be what has ruined so many families. So because I applied to get on the governor's council for the opioid addiction, whatever it is, because there's a problem out there.
Absolutely.
A different view, because DHS is totally different.
I am your girl to go to for real life experience. I'm willing to share my story and everything.
Yes.
I mean, I was compelled to. I don't know if I'm gonna get.
She has a great story. So we'll talk about it.
I was
there.
committed, and I had my case manager for my commitment not completely was flabbergasted as to why I was in a custody battle.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So
You were committed.
Oh, just don't even get the conversation going because it's so. Okay, get ready. You guys ready?
And I just, hey, great song. Why did you pick that song?
I absolutely love it. I fell in love with that. I'm a big fan of old songs that I grew up with, especially fun ones that get redone. And I'm just every time I hear it, I just kind of want to start jamming out.
Okay, so from one of our listeners, thank your guest for helping people accept the progress they've made by being able to shed the negative language such as addict, alcoholic, etc. Focus forward. So thank you, our listeners, for sending messages in. Our listeners love hearing that because I've gotten messages before about positive language, and so people are really accepting that, and I think that's quite important when you're dealing with that. So I love the fact that you have put so much passion in this, and I just gotta ask you, how did you do this with all your time? I mean, this gotta be a love of passion, and the energy you have is just. I'm just gonna say this. I thought I had energy, guys. Holy cow, Sarah, you have incredible energy. It's amazing, and what I recognize from you is you have some real love and it's charismatic passion. So it comes from a place of love and joy. And I really, it's in the recovery world, there are people like that, but far and few. There's a lot of people who care and are passionate, but yours comes from another place of sincerity and just a wisdom to want to help and just give out. And I really appreciate that because warriors in that area take a lot because you're going to get a lot of negativity, a lot of this because, I don't want to get into haters, but because today I'm going to talk about this. There are people who continue to believe that people who are really happy in recovery can't be happy because they just can't be happy. Well, guess what? I'm here. I'm in chronic pain. I have trouble using my hands. I have all these issues, but you know what? I can say I'm in recovery and I love it, and I'm going to be a joyous person regardless. Yes, I'm going to have really hard times. I'm struggling, but I am not going to let that stop me from telling people about recovery and how important it is to live a life and enjoy yourself. And, you know what? I get to go enjoy things.
And you know what, though? This is so important that you brought that up because I actually just had this conversation with my daughter last night. So it's okay. People, when you are happy, it's a feeling. It's a 90-second enlightenment where you're like, woo, I'm happy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You can have a good life and feel good. And you can also, because it's human nature, to have good days and have bad days. And it is literally okay to have a bad day.
Oh my gosh, yes. Hello. I mean, and especially with depression and stuff. I mean,
it doesn't mean you're not happy.
Yeah. And men, you talk about women, I'm going to talk about men, mention that. Men have been taught that it's not okay to feel depressed or not okay to have an emotion. And that has oftentimes they turn to addiction because when they get that funny feeling and don't know what to do with it, the only thing they know how to do is always been taught that I got to hide it and suppress it. Well, mental wellness, that's where mental wellness comes in, and society's starting to accept it. But one of the things I'm saying, what I've learned with people being so negative towards that, I've also learned in the rooms or I'm talking that some people say, I don't have to be this way. And well, wait, it is acceptable to be this way, and maybe I do need to change, or maybe I do want this. I desire to enjoy something better, and I like that. So it's one of those things that I'm learning that people accept things differently. And sometimes I come across really exciting. When I'm dealing with someone, I'm coaching or something, it's different, because sometimes they come from trauma, and I trust me, I come from deep traumas. But one of the things I'm learning is that you know who you're dealing with, you know your audience, but at the same time, if someone's hurting, I know when hurting is happening, and I'm not gonna be screaming like, "Hey, Joy," but I'll feel the pain. But then I'm not going to continue to feel sad all the time. I'm showing that you can regain pain because I've gone through pain and I'm happy. So, and look at you, you've gone through suffering. And we're not going to get into that. We talked a little bit, but you've hurt, haven't you?
Yes, actually, that's interesting you should say that. I just finished reading a book by Viktor Frankl, The Man's Search for Meaning. Completely blew me out of the water. I highly recommend it to anybody who's struggling with anything. Literally, if you are struggling with anything about why you're here, what's your purpose, what's the point of anything? That's my common thing that I always tell my therapist. What's the point?
So you also see a therapist?
I do, yes.
And isn't it just healthy?
It's so healthy. And also, because you did mention, I was actually on a commitment last year for suicide. So when I say I suffer from major depression, I really do. I get it. And also, you mentioned that I'm kind of like this perky, high energy person. I think a lot of that comes from when people can experience these extreme lows. I mean, the lowest of lows that people can't fathom. They can't even possibly imagine. They don't get it.
Darkness of darkness.
It is the darkness of darkness. But you know what comes with that also? That we get to feel the lightest of light, the most sincere, positive joy that nobody can fathom. These people who think they have happiness and they are living a great life, great, good for you. But you don't know to the extremes and the depth of what we feel because we are able to hit those extremes.
Yeah, and this is how I explain the darkness. And this can be pretty deep. I explain it when the flames are so hot that it freezes you. That it's you're so sad and so in such darkness that you're burning, but the burning it freezes you, and it's that powerful that because it just hurts so deep, and it's so cold that it freezes you, but it's a flame, and you just cannot get beyond that, and it's such a deep, piercing pain, and it can change your life. But we feel that, but we understand people who are suffering too, and we can give compassion in a different way. And God has blessed us, and I take it as a privilege too. I'm privileged to experience that because I get to experience this joy of love in a different sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
And amazing that you can actually relate that way and say that because some people don't accept that, but I'm glad you do that because then you give back so much.
Well, that's where SORELLA comes from. And that's why all those resources are on there for addiction recovery. There's mental health, like I said, any financial things which happen to lead to all of don't ever think that nothing is like everything is connected. Everything is connected and leads from one to another.
6 degrees.
Yes, seriously.
and I'm just gonna jump to Bridge for a sec, because Bridge, what got you so interested in this? And because Bridge jumps into a lot of things, does things, but she's she's been with me, and even when I learned from the criminal when we've done the Academy for Criminal Justice and become forensics peer recovery support peer support specialist. I've seen Bridge grow in so many ways already, and your compassion, your life, your flair, and you give a lot, and when things spark you, you really go with it. And so, what was it about SORELLA that really inspires you and just pulls you in?
I think the idea for SORELLA obviously is just the women empowering each other. And unfortunately, even in recovery, there's just the women that, for whatever reason within themselves, it's hard for them to really support and truly authentically love each other. And I feel like Sarah and I mean, we connected right away, but genuinely from the beginning, just love and support each other. And that's it. And then the idea with Sorella is that, it's really having other women believe that we all want that for each other and we don't want to like compete or any of that nonsense. Like there is a safe place that we can come together. And what I love about Sorella is like, especially women, a lot of the meetings there it is male dominated. And so Sorella gives this opportunity to like right away meet a sister who can go to meetings with you when I remember being scared, total antisocial anxiety all the time. Meetings would just I would avoid them. Well, here at Sorella, you can link up. We're all about the advocacy, hand in hand, guiding each other together to go to these events, to go to this whole new world of recovery. If you've never been, because it can be really scary if you're new to it.
That's
right?
so funny, Bridge. I remember my very first meeting that I ever went to. I didn't know anybody in recovery, and I was terrified, but I knew I needed help, but I was also scared. So I wound up going to my dad. I was just like, I need help. But I was petrified because there's no protection for people, especially moms in this field. And I remember going in and having my dad take me, but holy smokes, if I had found something like this and known that I could reach out and find somebody or even just go to an all women's, very like build somebody up, no judgments, just welcoming newcomers, I would have loved. And, my very first meeting that I went to for women's was Women's Way at Blaine. And I had met Bridge there, who brought me to Bad Moms Club at 7 p.m. on Monday nights through the Blaine Alano. Complete game changer. 100% game changer. In fact, I even encourage all the ladies at my house, as we are a mom's house, to attend the meetings. It's relatable, not just for moms, but just women in general. But it's a safe place for people to share, to open up, to come out of their shell and get help.
That's great to hear, and I'm just gonna say this: we're gonna go into our next song, and then after that, I'm gonna mention something from our listener who sent another message in. So I'm excited. We have people listening, and thank you, everyone. And remember, it's 651-313-5125 if you have a question, a burning question to ask Sarah, or you can text me at 763-843-4262. And what song is this song now?
Creep, Postmodern Jukebox.
Oh, cool.
Great. I totally forgot we should mention, Bad Moms.
Yes.
That just gives me the okay to like later post all the links and stuff.
Yes.
But so much. You're doing so great.
I'm shaking and sweating.
It's so wonderful. You sound so I would be inspired listening to a female that's like, especially a mom, it just gets it. I love that you talked about the low lows and the high highs. It's a double-edged sword because the low lows really suck.
Blessing and a curse.
Yes, but the high highs is like that joy, and when we're on those high highs, we do all kinds of things many people can't even do in a lifetime.
Yes,
because we're so passionate about it.
Yes.
Right? Mahal, you're just like that too.
Yes, I'm like, woo!
He's got
Oh, he's got this tape on here.
Yes, they added this too. I don't know who's doing what, so I'm just doing what we.
Oh, they used to have us turn it all the way down. Okay.
But see, and now look they missed a big thing. What's up with that? But I'm not. You might want to message Phil after the show. Say, hey.
But he just messaged us too. He wants us to call. He's got a recommendation.
Okay, because let it know. Yeah, somebody's changed that. And I'm not.
Because it's hard as that when you turn all the way down, you don't have to hear the in between.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to click it so fast.
Right.
Actually, leave that on and then click it next time.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Yep. Like a fade in kind of thing. Got it.
Because you hear the thing and then you hear this music loud because that can't be pushed down.
Right. Okay. Yep. I'll fade it in.
But that's like right out of the way.
I kind of try to do that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm mindful of time, that's why I got the alarm set.
Oh, cool.
So,
hey, everyone. Thank you for listening in.
Yes. Sorella sorority. What? Got the letter jackets. So if you get a chance, if you get a chance, talk about we have the new events page that links all the.
So how has the website been doing? Has it been attracting women?
Yeah, lately specifically it has been increasing, and I mean, I think the challenge of creating a new organization and getting the word out is finding that balance of how much time I can commit to it, but also getting volunteers.
Is it a nonprofit?
It is 100%.
Yeah.
Have you registered and everything?
I just registered it through and got an EIN
Okay,
number.
yeah.
So I haven't listed it on an organization board,
Okay.
or however that works. I'm learning. This is
So
all
Did you
new.
apply through the state then for the state for nonprofit thing and all that?
What was that?
Did you do your bylaws, articles of incorporation, all that stuff?
No.
We don't know.
So we need to have a meeting so I can help you guys.
Yeah, you'll have one.
Okay.
Because I know a lot about nonprofits.
Okay.
So you need to kind of have your ducks in a row and all that stuff.
Yes. Yes, please.
Yes, because it'll make it a lot easier for you guys to start. So if there's ever funding or anything or donations,
Yes.
you're set up properly.
Okay.
That would
Yeah.
be wonderful.
Yeah. I would definitely appreciate that.
We still got a whole minute
Oh,
on this one. It sounds like it's ending, but it's not.
yeah, because it's. Oh wow.
I forget how long a song is. But
I
just
love
it.
this version. I've only heard the Radiohead version.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Her voice gives me chills.
Yes, I've been having goosebumps the whole time. But I like if we could mention, you guys talk about whatever you want, but if you can slip in that, go to the website again, and we're gonna have special trainings. So I'm gonna be teaching the naloxone.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
anyone who's a member of SORELLA can get special trainings. I have one. Look at this. Have you seen this is breaking the stigma on mental.
Where did you get the glasses from?
Wellness. It's an organization. They're not in Minnesota, but they're free, and they want to break the distorted vision that people have against mental health. But
I
see,
like
this
that.
is like a little training that SORELLA members can take to get the knowledge about what mental wellness is. Because for me, recovery, I'm addicted to trainings and knowledge and just trying to know what I didn't know. Okay, you guys ready?
Yes.
Well, why did you select that song?
Her voice gives me chills. I absolutely love Haley Reinhart, and as soon as I heard that song, I fell in love with it years ago, and it just has stuck with me forever.
So I got a couple things from listening to the song. She is right about how. This is from Christopher. Actually, this is from Christopher Breton, and he said she's absolutely right about how amazing Viktor Franklin's book Man's Search for Meaning is. I wish it was required reading for all kids, school kids.
Yes.
So that's really cool. And then I have another person who said, I'm going to give this information to my sister for resources because,
Yes.
and when people are saying stuff like that, it just means that it doesn't mean that they know if they have a problem or not. If you're out there and you know someone, let them just give this to your sister or any woman or lady or a mother to just have some information. It's with no judgment. That's the thing. No judgment.
Zero judgment. Safe place. Safe place to come and research, look up things. I was, just having a conversation how with mental illness, that stigma that to seek help is very shameful.
Mm-hmm.
And people rather seek death than face the shame and disappointment of trying to get help for addictions, for mental health. That is
Live with the shame.
That is absolutely absurd. It should not be that hard.
And that's why I do the naloxone training. That's why I do the overdose prevention is that getting rid of that shame. And example, even with when we're talking about the test strips for fentanyl, someone's like saying you're promoting. No, if someone's doing something, get rid of that shame. We save a life, and then in that process, they make a decision if they want to die or live. And then you could at least give them that option of recovery knowledge. And then you were talking about trainings that you guys offer, right?
We're gonna
Yes. So SORELLA, again, SORELLAsorority.org. Please come check out the website. We offer events and trainings. And also, I want to mention that we are always looking for volunteers. This organization is new. We need help. I'm by myself. I'm putting the website together. I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, you're doing an amazing job. Wow.
I'm figuring it out along the way. And it's all the things that I wish I had when I needed it, not after the fact, the preventative care. So with that, in our events, we're looking for volunteers to come and help. Like, I would love somebody to come in and just be willing to call the numbers and resources that we have listed to make sure that they are still up and running. They are available to women. Once a month, call around, make sure that none of the numbers are disconnected, that all the things that we are off, that we are saying that are on their site are valid. I also want to say that our events, like there are sober bowling events for anybody can go every Thursday night, I think, at the Blainebrook. And, I have so many ladies in my house that love to go just fellowship, have fun. The fun things. If we're covering,
you have to have fun.
You have to have fun.
It can't all be like the serious and yes, you gotta enjoy life.
Yes, and I mean I know, like, for myself, I host parties at my house with the ladies. We've done painting parties. I've got a journal making thing coming up. We've done vision board parties. I mean, we always want that kind of stuff, and we want it out there. We want people to be able to have access to going and having something fun or looking forward to something that they don't know anything about, but if they go to our website and they're local, they'll be like, oh, hey, this month I've got this I can look forward to. I wanted to make a comment about the naloxone training, which thank you both for offering that service. It is above and beyond needed. And I know that Summit Hill is going to be hosting and offering training to all of our residents, as well as our managers and any people of the community that want to come monthly and get that training. We recently have had our own losses I'm just gonna, if we can have just 30 seconds of silence for Paige and Randy, who we lost to fentanyl overdoses.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yes.
I feel like 30 seconds on air is really long.
Yes, and that was 30 seconds to remember them. And so that was last overdose.
Yes, and
without a loss.
Devastating.
Yes.
Yes, so it's devastating and it's shameful, and everyone has this dramatic thing. And so what I'm doing is I'm trying to get in smaller communities. Also, it's just it's no longer about just prevention. It's something that is needed. You just need to know now, because it's not about promoting. It's about saving lives. I'm looking at it very differently. And I got a call. Well, I got a call a couple Fridays ago. I think now, it's been a couple Fridays. Because I wonder, I'm doing all this training. Is it really working? I got a call. She's like, I saved your life. And she goes, I just remember you saying jab them. Just jab the person. For don't worry about what's gonna happen, because you don't know if it's this or that or that. She said, I just remember you saying jab him, and she did it, and he came back, and so she saved her life. And what an amazing feeling! And because she's in the recovery community, the person knew about it. She got knocked at 3 a.m, didn't know what to do, and she was so nervous and scared. She got the thing she's reading, and she just did it, jab him. So we're going into the 4th song real quickly, and this is our last song. And what song is that?
Otis Redding. And this is just a little nostalgic for me, so.
Dirty Dancing. Remember that scene? Ooh, so hot. I love Otis.
Me too.
Yes.
I love Dirty Dancing.
Yes.
I'm not saying, but that was my first girlfriend. Nothing on there, but that's my first music that we enjoyed.
Yes.
I was in a relationship, and we had the tape, and we always played it, and so it's like woo,
mood music.
Yeah.
My mood music was always Janet Jackson. Certain songs.
Mine was probably like rock stuff.
No, because the actual song was like we had it talked out like it was just horrible. I said too much information, but I love this. Where did you get that?
This is for a sister that I lost.
Oh, okay.
Before,
Wow.
this is for Natalia. but I figured it's
Is that-
wings. Yes.
So you're talking about the gals that just died. Were they from? How did they die? You just knew them?
Those two specifically just were within a month of each other. One was on this past Wednesday. She was found at the home in her room, and then the other one was found in her car. And they don't know if she was with somebody who knows, maybe having had training could have done something or
Yeah, didn't even know the signs.
and not
Could be they're sleeping.
there was the
What is
first one had an extra. What I heard was there was another needle ready, so they don't know if it was intentional or if somebody was with and got scared and left.
Yeah,
And seeing that Steve
that's
Osborne
one of
types
the
of.
things we talk about. Yep.
And the fentanyl right now is an epidemic. It's
Yeah.
absolutely ridiculous.
I'm actually going there next. Oh, there's our alarm. So we got 2 minutes to wrap the show.
Okay.
The song's about to be done. But yes, I'm going there next Saturday to the Summit Hill Houses to teach their managers.
Oh, cool.
Some
Yes.
training. So if you want to mention that, but we don't
Yep.
need to. Okay, guys.
Because it's open to the public, right?
It is.
Yes.
Yeah. You always want to say.
And we're doing virtual and in person.
Yes.
Okay, guys, ready?
You can mention that actually.
Oh, it's there.
And great song, nostalgic. I gotta tell you. So we only got a few minutes left. I just want to say, Sarah, what an honor, what a pleasure. Hey, and if someone missed it and you want to tell a friend, you can go to our YouTube channel, Facebook group, Rise Up Hour, and catch this. And then I just want to say thank you for what you're doing. And we do have your website. You can click on that on our Facebook page. And then you have some trainings next week that you're doing.
Yes. So Saturday, May 7th, we are hosting a naloxone training at Summit Hill, and that is going to be at noon, I believe. And then we have another one coming up on the 21st. And all of those are going to be listed, of course, on our organization's website. So feel free to go into the events page and look for those. And we're going to keep them going monthly. So please come, and there's nothing to it.
Yes.
You could save a life, and it's literally
it's
like
about saving a life. It really is.
5 minutes of your time.
And then another thing is for all those peers that are out there tomorrow at noon, remember there's the peer meetings. You get a CU credit, have a credit, CU credits, and that's a monthly meeting for you don't have to be certified peer. You just be a peer who's interested or who's out there supporting people in recovery of all sorts. And that meeting will be. I'll post that on my on the Rise Up Hour and on my Facebook. And anyone have any questions, you can send me messages at riseuphour@gmail.com, or if you have a recommendation, something you want to be on the show. And you guys have a great day. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
And you guys, everyone, just enjoy this week. We'll see you next Sunday at the Rise Up Hour. So we should call Phil right now.
Yes, let them know someone's played with the Hinberg settings,
Yep, so-
which I can mess with now, but I just rather not.
So we'll call him on speakerphone right now. How's that? Because you had a suggestion. I don't know if we did something wrong with that.
We didn't do anything. Somebody else had messed with this everything.
Because he said he
I can
had.
breathe.
Okay, yes, we're done.
Because he said he had a suggestion for someone responding to it, saying.
Okay, just hang on a second. Let's wrap up
Yeah, let me just give a hug.
the StreamYard.
Woo! You did great!
You did so great.
Oh, Bridget, I'm glad you brought her. I
It's
love
such a
this.
blur, isn't it?
Thanks,
everybody.
What's happening on air?
Sorella.
Yeah.
You're on air. Woo!
Sorella. There we go. Sorella.
And we are really
Sorority.org, folks.
What a great show!
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
She's like a bundle of energy like me.